It's time to look at another RC airplane, and this is the Horizon Hobby T28 Trojan S. And this is, I think this is a part of their like UMX series airplanes, and it's 426 millimeter wingspan, and the weight is 47 grams. So this is a really tiny one. So if we open the box, this is actually a RTF version, so it does come with a remote and the aircraft and the battery, and I also have the Sport Cub S2, and this is like almost the same size, the same weight. I think the Sport Cub weighs 57 grams and this is 47 grams, so this is actually lighter than the Sport Cub S. It uses the small one cell box here, the one cell LiPo batteries, which are these 150 milliamp 3.7 volt, and they go underneath. There's a Velcro to hold them, and there's like this small connector, and it's also marked with a red dot on one side, and the batteries also have a red dot, so it's easy to tell orientation of this one. This one uses a brushed motor with a gearbox inside and a 3-bladed prop. It is a 4-channel airplane, so it does use aileron with one servo, and both rudder and elevator, of course. This one also have Safe Select, which auto levels the aircraft and keeps you from doing crazy things that will crash the aircraft. So it's very easy for a beginner to fly this one. It's easy to fly this one low and slow if you like to, and of course you can go full throttle and pick up speed. But I would suppose this is more like a small park flyer. You can certainly, I guess, fly this indoors as well. It does come with, let's see, landing wheels, which you have to, attach underneath. So there are like, holders on each wing for these wheels, and there is also a holder for the nose wheel, and it's steerable, so that's nice for ground handling. I actually really like this yellow color, and I like the design of this one. It looks nice, so well, I think we just, go out and fly it and try it out. It's early morning. It's just about the time when the sun goes up, and it's time to get the T28 Trojan S in the air. I'm checking the safe, and the safe is on, and there's the launch. Steady and smooth flight. Quite slow also. Before I got this one, I was a bit afraid that this, wing type. I've, mostly flown high wing types before, and this is, a low wing and quite small also. But I think it feels great to fly. It's no problem, flying low and slow and making tight turns. And also when you want to just increase throttle, then the airplane would just climb and pick up speed. So I'm not doing any crazy stuff. I'm just trying to get a sense of how the airplane operates, and where I can experience things like stall, and how tight I can make turns, how low I can go. Where's the limit when it comes to low speed, and how I can tell orientation, because it is quite small. So this is just a nice morning cruise of the T28. And this spot is actually very nice. We have the nearby lake in the background, and it was quite cold this morning also, so a lot of steam rising from the hotter water. And although these, the smaller style airplanes like this one, which 47 grams is nothing, and way below any limits of regulations, so this is just considered a toy. It's still difficult to find all these nice places to fly in, because I don't want to fly over people really. I want to have a quiet time. I want to be by myself doing this. I'm not too fond of having people asking me questions when I'm flying, so I like to have like this moment for myself, just flying. But this one is a really nice spot. It's not too big. Behind my back I actually have high trees, and to my left also trees. So my flying space is more or less straight forward and to the right, and I still have trees I have to climb if I want to go over them and increase my flying area. But for something like this small, I think this is just a perfect place to fly at. And I have to say I really enjoyed this one more than the Sport Cab S2, because the Sport Cab S2, it flies almost like a car. It's so straight, and it flies so slow, which is nice of course, but this one feels a little bit more agile, and I also like the look of this one better. It's more scale looking with the details, and especially when I don't see it when I fly, but the tips of the prop, the yellow tips of the prop, really nice detail. And yellow is something that normally don't see too much of in the nature, so it goes well on top of blue or green. So I'm just going low and not too fast. This one also, when you actually reduce throttle, the nose does actually drop right away. So there's not like very little, glide ability to this one. You have to keep the speed up in order to fly. So I set my timer for 7 minutes with the 220 milliamp batteries, which I just guessed. I thought that that could be a good time for these batteries. I think the manual says something about 5 minutes for the 150 milliamp battery. So 7 minutes is maybe about right. This flight is really uneventful, just to show what can be done with it. That you can really fly in tighter places, and it does handle pretty well if you jank the sticks and make big movements. It does actually. There's no problem to recover it. You just have to release the pressure on whatever surface you're putting pressure on, and so forth. So it does work really nice. Now it's time for me to land, and it's always difficult to land on grass, but let's see how it works. I don't expect this to be too pretty. Hopefully I can make at least have the aircraft standing on the wheels when it hit the ground, but usually you tip over because the wheels get stuck in something. Okay, not too bad. Well, the first maiden. So it's time for some post-flight thoughts. I have to say I enjoyed it very much. I especially I like the the look of it when it flies. I like the angled wings. I like the yellow bright color. I like the way it flies. Although when you go dead stick, this one does actually drop the nose pretty quick. So you have to. It doesn't glide too good. It does glide a bit, but it doesn't glide too good. So you have to work it, and that's why I think it's more fun to fly this one than, for instance, the Sport Cub S2, because that's also in a one cell brushed geared prop, and it does fly slow also. But this one you have to work a little bit more, so it's you can grow with this one in a better way. I'm not too fond of the one cell LiPo batteries, especially the ones which this one came with, which is the 150 milliamp batteries. I think they just last too short flight time. So I got these, which is 220 milliamp batteries. They are cheap also, and with this one I can get about 6.5 minute flight time. Of course, as I do not glide with this one, I have to keep the throttle going to keep it in the air. It does, drain the battery faster than, let's say something like the Turbo Timber, which is a bigger one. With the Turbo Timber, I can actually glide and have, the throttle really low, so my flight time is greatly increased. But with this one, these batteries and this motor, it is what it is. And I really don't like this connector also. I managed to bend some of these connector pins inside, so I have to bend them back to get it to work. I'm flying this one with my Spectrum DX8 Generation 2 transmitter, and it was good, it worked great. So I didn't try the included RTF remote. Maybe it's good as well, but I think the DX8 is just perfect nice. So to me at least, I think this is better than the Sport Cub S2 because I have more fun with it and I like the look of it. And also this is a lower wing plane, so it does it is a little bit more complicated to fly than a high wing style airplane. Although this is easy to fly. No question about it. And I think the size is nice. You can fly in tight spots, you can fly high, low, not too far away because then you won't be able to see it. So to me at least, so far, this is a keeper.